So here's the thing. It's like a blanket that is big enough for everyone. It's the kind of blanket everyone snuggles under while watching a movie or on a cold night while everyone is sitting around the fire outside or in their living room. This blanket is big enough to cover everyone. But if it is pulled away from just one person, even when the person is told the blanket is there, it does not matter if they can't seem to get any cover, any warmth from the blanket. The blanket is wonderful. It has a lot of symbolism and history. There is quite a bit of sentimentality attached to the blanket. But the fact is, some of us can't use the blanket. We keep getting told the blanket is there, that it's available, but it continues to be out of reach for some of us. And then those with the blanket get angry when we get angry because we can't use the blanket. In fact, they're upset because we protest because we are not able to use the blanket. But those of us without the blanket are dying. The blanket does not mean the same thing for us if we are dying. We get upset because you're angry at us for being angry. How could we be angry for wanting coverage and warmth? You don't understand why we are so angry. Why we would take a knee whenever the blanket is discussed, as though we all have access to it. But we are not getting any warmth or protection from the blanket. How could we not be upset? How could we not be angry? We need the blanket, just like you need the blanket. We are here. We have just as much right to be here as you do. We were created by the same God that created you. Why can't we use the blanket? Why are you upset because we are upset that we can't use the blanket? You see, it's like a blanket, but you pretend on 4th of July or at football games that we are all covered by the blanket. We will never all be warm if one of us is not warm. We will never all feel protected if all of us are not protected. The blanket was meant for all of us. We all need the protection of the blanket. And until we all have the protection of the blanket, those of us without the blanket will continue to die, to be killed, to be murdered, to drink water laced with lead, to get substandard grade school education, to get substandard legal representation, to get substandard medical care. There will be anger, there will be protest, and there will be taking of the knee. And for those with the blanket, you will always have a different viewpoint because you see things from a different vantage point. Your vantage point is the full, unmitigated coverage you get from the blanket. From that vantage point, it would be next to impossible to understand how it feels not to be covered by the blanket.